Hello, people. My name is Detroit Miracle, and I'm coming back to you from on my spot. What is that? Why is there poor people? Why was there ever poor people in the first place? Well, let me answer. You see, society is set up and structured in ways of governing bodies and things like that. Like there's the government, then there's the business owners, there's the commerce, there's the spending, there's the themes, there's the bills, there's the banks. It runs and operates within a system like that. There's rich people, there's poor people. And so, if the reason why there is rich people in that notion is because there is poor people. If there weren't a notion and reality of being poor or people being poor or impoverished, then there wouldn't be a concept or a reality of people being rich. And it works like that, vice versa. If it was just rich people, then there wouldn't be poor people. If there were just poor people, then there wouldn't be rich people. But somebody has to be benefiting in some way. Then, like in older, ancient times, usually it was like a king and a queen over the entire kingdom or empire. They were the richest ones there, and the majority of the population was poor. Now, you might have had people in their inner circles that were rich, such as governors, senators, and other prominent figures that might have provided services for the people abundantly, such as jobs, goods, services, food. So that's where it started, and that system is been carried on throughout time, and that's why it's poor people. That's one of the reasons. Like, first and foremost, if you were listening, if it's not poor people or a bunch of people doing bad, then it becomes meaningless for somebody to call themselves rich and to have the ideal lifestyle in which they are very comfortable with and have much more than they need or require. That's the first, those are the main reasons, or that's the main reason. Secondly, like, people have to work, there has to be jobs. Like, there are business owners that provide jobs in order to provide services and goods to the people, such as in the case where there are rich people that own fast food restaurant chains, department stores, gas stations, bowling alleys, corporations, companies, big and small. And usually those jobs pay like a low wage or a low labor wage, but the people must work there in order for those business owners to provide those such means for people to earn a wage and support themselves. And the rich people, in order to become rich and stay rich, they must have people working at those lower wage jobs, which provides them with a sizable income. Yeah. Like, you just say, if it was a concept where everybody was poor, just say everybody was poor, just say, look at that, then there is no rich people, then everyone is being treated equally and evenly. And then you might say that, hey, everyone is struggling, so it must be some kind of curse. Then this is something like hell or something, where like no one is doing good at all, or just maybe like a few people. Like, what is happening? But when you get a reality like this, where you see so many poor people, then you see so many rich people, then something is wrong, and that's an indication that that sort of thing is being controlled, is being controlled amongst the population, and poverty is used as a means to maintain order and control. Because if you have a whole bunch of people in the millions or tens of millions that are not doing so well, then they become much more dependent on the government for various things, the whole system in itself. Like as far as they dependent on the government to provide them with jobs, legal aid, affordable housing, low interest loans, and so forth. But if somebody is rich, they had an option to just say, well, I'm going to go move to a tropical island, or in fact, buy me a tropical island and live well. I'm not dependent on anybody else, but, I got enough money. I don't need goods and services or anything from the government. I got all this money, so I'm going to leave, or I'll just live comfortable. Hey, I don't even have to depend on the police for protection. I'll just move in a nice neighborhood, get me a security alarm system, maybe hire a couple of bodyguards, and then they're good. The more you have as far as resources and money, the less dependent you are upon any type of system. Now, poor people or impoverished people, if you want to call them that, like they're dependent on the police for protection. They're dependent upon, just say, the job market for employment. They're dependent upon political officials. They keep making promises every single 4 years, and it's crazy that those people lie every time. They've been lying forever, and the people still believe everything they said. What political candidate or elected official actually completely kept their word? Now, Barack Obama, he actually got free health care for the general public, and that was an astounding feat. He kept his word there by doing that. But and I'm not just saying that Barack Obama is the only elected official that kept his word because he's black. There's been other candidates that have kept their word in ways, but not completely, and those guys were white, So I'm not just throwing in the race thing, but in all, look at the cost of living. The cost of living keeps going up. I know the taxes, people keep paying high taxes. Like every political elected official says they're gonna lower taxes, maybe provide low interest business loans, help with student debt. They make the same, they're going to lower the prices on gas, and then after they are elected, it is business as usual. The economy keeps going up, the cost of living, prices become more higher on food and drink, gas prices keep going up regardless. And then it's like, oh well, it's like, I guess if you lie to the people as a whole so many times, then they just won't care. Or it's like they'll say, well, this guy is the lesser of the two evils, so I'll vote for him or her. It's like that. Then with this, with the economy situation, with prices going up and with inflation, you notice they need an excuse for that to happen in order to do it. So a war always pops up out of nowhere, and then they can send tens of billions of dollars to that war, but they can't send tens of billions of dollars to provide goods and services for the people in need, like the homeless community, the low income community. So they don't have them, and the people are the first priority, not some war like from afar. Yeah, I think all wars should be like ceased and halted and resolved. People should sit down and talk it over, or like the general ruling bodies of the world should just say, hey, we don't want this war, we don't endorse it, so put an end to it. We are in the majority, and if you don't do it, we'll cut you off, cut all your supply routes off, all the trade routes, and you can't do business or commerce or spending or something. But the fact that when a war pops up, like they're just send tens of billions to not promote that war, but to help fund it. But the fact of the matter is, like, those wars drain economies. It's proven. Like, the total spending on all wars has been what, at least $5 or $6 trillion. That's a lot of money. Do you know how many people they could have helped if they would have diverted those funds that way? You know how many institutions they could have built for education, art, jobs? You know how many homes they could have built for the homeless and low income? You know how many grocery stores they could have built for the third world? You know how many jobs they could have provided for the poor? And I believe that the people are the best investment to be invested in, and not a car, not a precious stone or a precious metal. It's the people, because it is proven that people can accomplish wonders in life. Like, if they're very special or tap into their full abilities beyond potential, then they can do many great things, but they need the basic and non-basic necessities for living. They need good wages, they need food and drinks, clothing, a nice safe place to stay, a car to drive. They need to be able to pay their bills and have money left over for recreational purposes. I don't necessarily mean drugs and liquor for those recreational purposes. I mean, like, you might want to take a weekend in Las Vegas to unwind and kick back or something like that. But yeah, it's like, it's, if you try to figure it out and then you come to the truth, you be like, wow, it's right in front of me. So how can all these people act like they're blinded and don't know? Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. Well, it has to be a change, like, as a whole. The masses have to like stand up and say, wait a minute, we want to kill all these traditions. We're not going to go along with it, or else it's going to continue. Yes, indeed. Well, folks, I'd appreciate it if you would share this message, like this message, comment on this message, and please subscribe to my channel, Detroit Miracle. Thank you.